The first movie that I watched with my kids was a Walt Disney movie. So my kids and I went crazy for Walt Disney. My kids were little, were very tiny, 2 years old and 1 year old. They couldn't even speak English. I had to translate that movie for them back then. But we loved Disney because the first movie that we watched was a Disney movie. So I started to buy them things that were all about Disney. Disney t-shirts, Disney pens, Disney toys. But everything that I bought them was from the thrift store because I was broke. So I used to go to the thrift store and buy them a lot of stuff, a lot of Disney stuff. But after a couple of months, I decided I'm gonna save some money and I'm gonna surprise them. I'm gonna take them to the Walt Disney store on Water Tower. So it took me a couple of years actually to save some money. But I saved some money enough to take them to the Disney store to buy them something from the Disney store, something new, something not from the thrift store. And I remember walking into the Disney store with my kids, and I'm like, oh my God. Have you ever been to the Disney store? I mean, it's so cool. They have all the movies, they have all the stuffed animals, they have t-shirts, they have pens, they have the collectibles. I had like $50 on my pocket, I'm like, get the kids. So I went to see one of those collectibles thinking like, hey, I have enough money to buy me a collectible, and I grab it, and as soon as I grab it, my daughter's like, Daddy, I'm like, sure. And I look at the collectible, and I look underneath. It was a little snow cone, one of those cones that you like mix and you see the nice water. And I looked down on it, and it was really expensive. And I immediately turned over to my kids, I'm like, do not touch anything. If you break anything in here, I'm gonna stop paying for it for life. Do not touch anything. So I started to put the collectible back on the shelf, and my daughter like, Daddy, I'm gonna drop the collectible. Slowly I tried to put it on the shelf, and then she's like, Daddy. I'm like, stop. I put it on the shelf really slowly, make sure it didn't break, and then I turned around. And then I realized my mistake. Because on those moments that I was trying to put that collectible away, I had taken my eyes away from my son. Mm-hmm. And my son was trying to grab a collectible for one of the shelves. But him, being my son, wasn't trying to grab one collectible from the bottom shelf. No, that was being too easy. No. He wanted to grab a collectible that was all the way on the top shelf. A little mermaid that was all the way on the top shelf. And he was climbing up the shelf. He was about to grab the collectible, and I'm like, I wanted to run and grab him, but I'm like, he might fall, or he might drop something. I'm like, it doesn't matter, I had to grab him. So I started to move, and as soon as I moved, he just came down. Collectibles, shelves, everything. He lay down on the floor in the middle of the broken glass and the broken collectibles, and he started crying. I wanted to start crying. I went over to where my son was. I'm like, everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. I told that to my son. The manager came over and looked at me. I'm like, oh God. I go, I'm sorry, can you tell me how much I owe you for all this stuff that broke? And the manager is like, no, sir, I'm sorry that the shells fell on top of your son. I'm gonna go see on the video to see what happened. And I go like, you do that. You better hope he's not hurt. So she left to go look at the video, and I grabbed my kids and I run the hell out of the store. And I had my daughter in one arm and my son in the other arm, and I kept telling them, everything's gonna be okay, everything's gonna be okay, everything's gonna be okay. But not everything was okay, because my wife and I didn't have that many good times We got married too soon, we got married too young, and we started to get a lot of troubles, and a few years later we got divorced. And I became a weekend parent. I started to see my kids only on the weekends. And because I started to see my kids only on the weekends, I decided I was going to pay a lot of attention to them whenever they came over to the house. So I was going to spend as much time as I could with them. And I started to notice things about my son. For example, when my son was about 7 years old, he didn't play with cars and toy soldiers the way that I did on my childhood. He played with Barbies. He didn't watch the cartoons. When he got older, he didn't watch the cartoons that I like to watch, like G.I. Joe or Thundercats. He liked to watch Sailor Moon, which is a cartoon about a girl that's a miniskirt and she fights people in the nighttime and finds love in the daytime. And I started to notice things about my son. When my son was about 10 years old, he wanted to throw a birthday party for himself. But my ex-wife had become a Jehovah's Witness. So birthday parties were not allowed at his house. So I told my son, yeah, we could do it at my house. So I called my brother and I told my brother to take my son to the store to buy all the stuff for him so my wife wouldn't know that we were trying to throw a party for him. And my brother did that, took my son to the store. And then my brother called me and he's like, dude, I gotta let you know something. I'm like, what's up? Your son is looking at all this stuff here, he's looking at all the invitations, and he wants to throw a princess birthday party. And he wants to get invitations for a person's birthday party and send it to his friends. And I go, you buy him whatever the hell he wants. So he did that. And we threw the princess birthday party for my son. So at age 15, when my son told me that he needed to talk to me and told me that he was gay, I said, dude, I know. I mean, I see you grown since you were a little kid. I know who you are. And I'm so proud of you. So proud of the fact that you're so comfortable on your own skin, that you know who you are. But I need you to be careful. He like, Dad, I know. Like, no, son, you don't know. We live in Chicago. This is a really cool city. But even here, there's going to be people who are going to try to hurt you, that are going to offend you, that are going to hate you just because of who you are. You need to be careful. And he's like, Daddy, I know. I'm like, no, you don't know, son. I am a Latino. Y yo hablo español donde quiera que yo voy. I speak Spanish wherever I go. But sometimes there's people that don't like it and tell me to go back where I came from. So wherever I go, I always have to watch my back. Son, you are gay and you're Latino. You're going to have to watch your back twice as much. Daddy, I know, he said. We hugged. And everything was okay. My son finished high school. My son went to college. My son finished his college education and he moved to San Francisco, the gay capital of the world. And everything was okay. But then, the night of the elections came. And I'm watching the results. And I'm thinking, that we were about to elect a guy that was going to give everybody free education and free healthcare, or we were going to about to elect the first woman president. We had great choices, but instead we're about to elect a demagogue, somebody who hates people of color, somebody who hates immigrants, somebody who doesn't appreciate the LGBT community. And I'm thinking about my son all by himself in San Francisco. And I know that it's probably a safe city, but I'm still thinking about him, and I'm thinking about the things that could happen to him, and I'm getting so nervous, and I'm starting to cry. So I call my son, and it's a miracle, but he picks up. And I tell my son, are you watching the results? Are you okay? Are you taking care of yourself? Please be careful. and he's like, Dad, this is not time for panicking. This is not time for being afraid. This is time to organize. This is time to get together. This is time to fight. We need to organize. This is good. Everything is going to be okay. And I realized that I've been afraid. Because for so many years, I've been complacent. I've been feeling safe. Because for so many years, we say that, yes, we can. Yes, we can. We went up on the mountain. We were all the way on the top. And all of a sudden, we cannot. All of a sudden, everything is crashing down. But now I talk to my son. And in a minute, he has helped me regain my faith. He has made me understand and realize that this is time for us to organize. This is time for us to get together. And yes, everything is going to be okay. Thank you.